I'm so sorry, I'm late, I'm coming. Oh my word, you would not believe what just happened. Did you hear? You didn't. It's okay, I'm going to tell you. You didn't hear about that guy, and it, like, what's her name from church? What is her name? It's like some kind of gem. It starts with an S. I think it's like Sapphire. Yeah, Sapphire from church and her husband. You didn't hear this? Okay, this is crazy. Like, nothing like this has ever happened before. It's like a little bit scary, but it's kind of cool. Okay, so like, remember Barnabas? He lives in Cyprus and he had all that land and then he sold it. Yeah, he sold it and he gave all the money to the church, remember? Because everybody was talking about like, wow, Barnabas is such a good Christian because he had all this land and then he just sold it and he gave it all to the church so that they could take care of other Christians. This story isn't about Barnabas. What was I telling you? Okay, yeah. So Sapphire and her husband must have heard about what Barnabas did because they had like some kind of possession. I don't know if it was like land. It could have been land, but it could have been like a family heirloom or something. And they sold it too. And then they gave some of the money to the church and they kept some. Right? No, they kept some. You don't get it. So they told the church that they gave all the money, but they didn't actually give all the money. They just kept some. No, you're not getting it. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, so what's her husband's name? It begins with, it's like Andrew or something. So he came to the church, and there's Peter who leads the church. And so here's your point. So this is her husband, Andrew. So he came to the church, and this is Peter, the leader of the church. And so Peter was here, and then Andrew came and he brought the money, and he was like, I brought all this money to the church. But Peter somehow knew that this guy was kidding, like he didn't actually bring all the money. And Peter just straight up says, why would you lie? Because it was your stuff and you didn't have to sell it. Nobody was making you give all the money to the church, but you wanted to look good. You were lying. And so not only did you lie to men, but you lied to God. And right there, I'm not even kidding you, Andrew just was like, and he died right there. I'm not even kidding. And then like a bunch of guys came and it says, and they like wound him up and then they went out and buried him right there. Like while Peter was just there. They like took him out and they buried him. And that's not even the crazy part. Okay, what was his name? It wasn't Andrew. It was Ananias. Okay, that was his name. Well, he died. So he died and they buried him. And it's so crazy, right? He just like died right there. But like, I don't think God just strikes us all down dead when we lie, right? Like I've lied before and he didn't strike me down. And obviously God loves us because there's that verse in the Bible that talks about, what is it, John 3:16? It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? That whosoever believes in him shouldn't perish but have everlasting life. So it's not God's goal to just strike us all down dead when we lie, right? Because through Jesus we have salvation. He loved us so much that he died for us. So he wants us to live. But you know what? I bet that because God is truth, it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't want us to lie and to be like, you know what? I think that Ananias probably wanted to look as good as Barnabas, because Barnabas is like such a good Christian because he gave all his money to the poor, but he was just following God. So if we're God's children, then we should just not be faking. We should be honest. And the only reason we should do good things is because we love God and we're just following him, not because we want to look good. Anyway, okay, that's not even the craziest part. Okay, so Ananias died, right? But then Sapphira came in, like it wasn't even 3 hours later. And she came in and she came to talk to Peter, and Peter knew what was up, and he didn't tell her about Ananias. He just said, did you sell that thing for that much money? And guess what? She lied too. Like she told them the same number that Ananias told. She told them, yeah, we gave all the money. She didn't tell them that they kept some back. And he was like, well, the guys who just buried your husband are here and they're going to bury you too because you guys are both lying, not just to men, but to God. And right there, she died too. Right, church? It was crazy. And then the same guys who buried him came out and they came and wound her up and buried her with her husband. Isn't that insane? It's crazy. Like, right? And Peter, like, it was so scary. Everybody at church was like, I'm thinking, I hope I never tell a lie because that would be really bad. Because obviously, God takes truthfulness very, very seriously. And it wasn't just, I think it was because they were faking to be something that they weren't. They weren't actually following what God asked them to do. Because Peter said, you didn't have to sell all the land and give all the money. He said it was totally fine if they kept the money. But it was because they lied about it and they were doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. And this isn't even like, okay, if you don't believe that this really happened, Luke wrote it all down for us. It's in the book of Acts. It's like, her name was Sapphira. That was her name. It was Ananias and Sapphira. It was in like Acts, I think it's in Acts 4 and 5. So you could go and read it for yourself. It's crazy.